Okay, so okay guys, so we've got a bass strum technique that we're going to be looking at today with the right hand for one of my students, Faye. So I've got a capo on fret number 7 here, and the song I played to them was Never Grow Old by Taylor Swift. So we'll leave the capo on, fret 7. I'm just going to play a G chord just so that I can demonstrate what we're doing with the right hand. So it's not a song lesson, it's more of a right hand technique lesson, okay? So on this G chord here, what I'm doing here, rather than just strumming like down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, which sounds cool, right? Rather than just doing that, I'm going to be playing so that just adds a little bit more texture, if you like, rather we get. So I'm plucking the bass note with my thumb, and I'm strumming down and up with my first finger. So I call this a bass strum technique. There's a number of ways you can do it. You can do it just with you can do it with just the thumb. You can do it with a pick. If I had a pick, I'd show you, but it'd be more like that. But we're going to be doing it with the thumb and the first finger, because I think this is quite a strong, solid way of playing this technique and remaining accurate and consistent throughout. Okay, so on the G chord, essentially we're going to be plucking the low E string, the lowest note in the chord, which for this G here is the low E string, right? We're going to pluck that with the thumb, and then the down strum is going to come with just the first finger, and specifically from this joint, and this joint. So it's that motion there. So it's almost like you're flicking something like that. You want to get that motion. That feels a bit weird to start with, to get that strumming motion. A lot of people do something like that, because it's the same way that you might strum with a plectrum. That's the motion that you want to make primary. You'll also get a little bit of motion from the elbow and maybe the wrist, but it's that first finger motion there. So to be honest, you could just start off with just the G chord and just try going down, up, down, up, down, up. I should also point out, if I just come onto this angle here, when I do this here, some people like to rest the pinky on the guitar body here. So they would play the bass note and then a down, up, bass, down, up. That keeps the hand nice and stable. Some people like to take the pinky off though. They feel a bit uncomfortable with the pinky, so you can try it without the pinky. Like that. Me personally, I'm kind of on and off with the pinky. So every time I go down with the thumb, I'm coming down with the pinky. And then when I go down, when I come off of the thumb to come up for the down, I'll come off with the pinky there. And then when I play the up strum, I'll come off. So I'm kind of on and off like that. So just try and find what works for you here, really. Okay, so the pattern that we're going to be using here specifically is a bass with a thumb and then a down, up. All right, so bass, down, up, bass, down, up, bass, down, up, bass, down, up. So even though we've got the motion primarily coming from the finger, don't forget you can have a little bit of wrist and elbow involved as well if you want. Okay, so bass, down, up, bass, down, up. Try to make sure this first finger continues like that. A lot of people will do this. Keep the finger open. They'll just move like this because it's quite similar to the way you might move with a plectrum. Okay, so just make sure that first finger continues to open and close in that flicking motion. So again, the pattern that we're using here is bass, down, up, bass, down, up. Okay? Now, if we were to change chords to, say, I don't know, a C add 9 here, the lowest note in this chord now becomes the A string. So we've got to do the same thing, but we've got to make sure we get to this A string here. So it'll be a bass, down, up, bass, down, up, bass, down, up, bass, down, up. Then say we go to this E minor 7 here. The lowest note in this chord is now the open E string. So bass, down, up, bass, down, up, bass, down, up, bass, down, up. And if I go down to this D sus 4 here, the lowest note in this chord is going to be this D here, this D string. So we'll have bass, down, up, bass, down, up, bass, down, up, bass, down, up. Okay, so that's one type of pattern there. So back on the G, rather than just going for the bass down up pattern now, we can mix that up a bit. We can maybe just try a bass, down, bass, down, bass, down. So then we could mix that up with the original bass down up. We'll get maybe a bass, down, bass, down, up, bass, down, bass, down, up. I could speed that up to C add 9. G. Another pattern we can put in there would be a bass up, down, up. A bit fiddlier this one. So it's a bass up, down, up, bass up, down, up, bass up, down, up. Definitely a bit fiddlier, so you might have to give this one a little bit more time. But if I mix the three up, I'll start off with a bass down, up. Then I'll do a bass down. Then I'll do a bass up, down, up. So I get bass, down, up, bass, down, bass up, down, up. All right, and I can mix and match those throughout all of these chords that we've just gone through, the G, the C add 9, the E minor, and the D sus 4. All right, so actually this is E minor 7. So it can be something like... etc., etc. Okay, so that's pretty much the right hand bass strum technique there, guys. Like I said, there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. You can do it just with the thumb, you can do it with a pick, and there might be a bunch of other ways as well, but they're the primary ways of doing it. And I think this way that we've just gone through today is is a really consistent way of kind of going about things. If you use just the thumb, for example, right, just to finish the lesson up, if you just pluck and then you just do the down, so you get pluck, down, pluck, down, pluck, down. It'd be the same with the plectrum, right? You'd have a plectrum here, you'd go pluck, down, pluck, down. Every time you go down, pluck, down, your thumb is down here and it's got to get all the way back up to here for the bass note. And it's quite a lot of work sometimes for the thumb, especially if you've got to get in between the strings. Feels quite tricky because the thumb has got to get back up to the right note. Same with the plectrum. But with this technique here, obviously the thumb, it remains over the low strings because the finger ends up down here, and that's fine because, you know, you're coming back up with the thumb, not the first finger for that note, right? So I think this... see them like speeding up and stuff, but the thumb is remaining over the low strings all the way through, which just makes things a lot more consistent and stable, in my opinion. So give that a go. Have some fun with it. Happy Friday. Take care. See you soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.